I'm definitely a nerd. Yeah, should. Hi, welcome to TalkBox. This is episode 4. Thank you guys for listening and watching so far. It's been quite an adventure. And today we have a very special guest. His name is Rhys Darby. He's a Kiwi. And he's on such shows as Flight of the Conchords, hilarious show. What We Do in the Shadows, the movie, and a show that was on recently, Our Flag Means Death. He's just a tremendously talented comic, and he's on tour in the UK, so he dropped by, and we talked about touring, British comedy, and then we slightly meandered all over the place. It was great. It's kind of what we do here at TalkBox. So enjoy the show, and I'll leave you to it, okay? Bye.
Rich Fulcher's TalkBox.
I don't know where he is, but okay. Oh, Rhys!
Hey!
Rhys Darby, as I live and breathe.
Wow,
How
look at
are
this.
you?
Yeah,
Good
good,
to
man.
see you.
You too, buddy. The awkward over the chair hug. Yeah.
To see you.
Building the bridge of friendship.
I love that. Now, thank you, first of all, for taking a break on your tour.
Mm-hmm.
You have a full-on tour, don't you? So cheers.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers. Cheers
Yeah.
to touring and getting out there and,
You're doing it, man.
traveling the mirth.
One of us has to do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've only just started. I'm two sessions in here in the UK, so I'm still feeling fresh.
Can I start with the plugs right away?
Yes.
I like to get them out of the way.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so when this comes out, you'll have done Cardiff, Portsmouth, Birmingham, Poole,
Mm-hmm.
Norwich.
Yeah.
Now, the 10th of June, you're in Belfast,
Yes.
Dublin.
Yes.
You're back in London, Shepherd's Bush, Empire, Brighton. Whoa. Sheffield on the 18th of June.
Yeah.
Keep smiling. And then St. Albans.
Mm.
Ooh, that's a lovely town. 19th
Yes, it sounds
of June.
nice.
Leeds, 20th.
That'll be a big one.
Swindon on the 21st. The 21st at the Corn Exchange. That's a really good venue.
Oh, is it? Oh,
The
good.
24th. 25th, Bristol Beacon. Tyne Theatre and Opera House in Newcastle, 27th. 28th, Glasgow.
Yes.
Tough town.
That's going to be messy.
Yeah. Manchester, the 29th of June. And then you're taking a little bit of a well-deserved break.
Yes, please. Thank you.
That is full on.
Well,
That is hardcore touring.
I think I can do it.
No, I think you can.
Some people tour for 6 months. I just come in and I go hard for a month and then go home.
In and out, nobody gets hurt.
Yeah, that's right. That's the
Yeah.
plan.
Now, when you have a big tour, when did you start planning for this? Like a year ago?
Yes, at least a year ago. Yes, and my team, we sort of put this idea together.
You're sitting by the pool.
That's right. I'm on the phone, cocktail in hand,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking and I'm talking and I'm saying, the TV and film industry here in Hollywood's kind of falling through a little bit.
It's dead, isn't it?
Yeah. A lot
It's
of people
dead
have
over
left.
here, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, we're in a bit of a flux at the moment. I think the industry is like, what's happening? Artificial intelligence has come in.
The robots are taking
Yep,
over.
They're on their way. Actors have never really had any power anyway. So we're just sitting by the phone. The phone's not ringing. No one uses phones.
We're ineffectual, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought, well, what else have I got? I mean, I can perform. I can do my stand-up.
Well, that's the beauty of it. You can
Yeah.
always do that.
That's right. I can fall back on
Your skills.
That's right. Get out there and do it.
You have skills. You have a skill set that you can ply your trade. It's as if you were a blacksmith. It's like, I'm going to be a smithy now.
Yeah. Going back to smithing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to look at it.
And so you said, okay, a year ago. So how do you start up your act? How do you start writing it and stuff?
Yeah, well, I
You
had
just-
to come up with a show concept, and for me, it was definitely going to be in the world of AI.
Love it.
Robotics on their way. I used to always do impressions of robots for fun.
I've seen those.
Yeah, and now I'm thinking, wait a minute, they're actually coming now. I wonder if they'll watch those videos of me, taking the piss out of them. So let's do a show about the oncoming onslaught of AI and robots, and how someone of middle-aged, but fairly good fashion, great hair, how that person would deal with it.
Can I just interject something?
Yes.
How did the first robot, like, we all know robots as robots talk like this,
Yes.
but when did that first happen? Do you know? Because I've always been curious, like, did one person do it and they go, I'm going to do that robot accent?
The robot
Like-
voice. Well, I mean, it definitely comes from as far back as the 50s. Yeah. So I don't know the precise details or, accurate history of how the robot voice was created, but it was then
Yeah.
used. I mean, I was talking to a friend the other day, this Stephen Hawking's voice, that
Yeah.
became his thing. And that kind of was a robotic voice. But, if in these days, once he connected to that, and that would have been, I don't know what year that is either. I did watch the
We'll flash all this underneath
film.
the
It'll
screen.
come up. The info
Yeah.
will come up.
Yeah.
But once he decided, we're talking about Stephen Hawking now, once he decided that was going to be his voice, then he stuck with it. But of course, technology got better. And these days, AI just talks like humans. So I loved the idea that robots spoke like robots. Robots were separate to humans. We built
Yes.
them. We control them. That was it. And then you watch Star Wars and
Stay,
stuff.
robot.
Yeah.
Stay.
Yeah, exactly. They're our helpers, our droids. In Star Wars, C-3PO, he has a friendly voice. He does have a very humanistic voice, but he's also a translator. He can do the voices of many different races and species around the universe. But
Now there are lovers.
what?
The robots have changed now.
Now they're our
They're
lovers.
becoming our lovers.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I think we crossed the line somewhere, and it was to do with the voice, but also when they spoke robotically, they were definitely differentiated from us. But when they started really just going, "Oh, hi, I'm a robot, and I'm going to," and then you go, "Wait, whoa."
Yeah.
And then science fiction sort of took that as well, a little bit in Star Wars, but then mostly the droids do have more robotic kind of voices. But then you look at Blade Runner, the replicants, and then you've got
Rutger
that.
Hauer.
Exactly. So then you've got robotic people who are hard to distinguish between real humans.
We're going to have a test.
Yes. What, right now? To see whether I'm
Yes. I don't know.
Okay. Well, that's why I had to duck away and get changed and cover my robotic eyes.
Well, the test in the movie was about a turtle or something.
What's
And-
that?
Yeah, they asked a question. It was the beginning of the movie, I remember.
Yeah. And then it was done a bit later on in the film too. And I remember he had a little kit that he would pop out, and he'd do like a one-on-one like this, and he'd test the what he thought was a replicant to see whether it was or whether it was a human.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean,
That
it won't
stuff's
be
going to come
long.
true. I mean, that
Well,
stuff could happen.
Some kid goes, I've got this babysitter. I don't know if she's a robot. And he's like going to a help desk or something. They go, oh, well, look on the left side of her shoulder. If you tap it and
Right.
she twitches or something, she's a robot.
Okay.
But I mean, that's not far-fetched.
No,
Is
I
it?
think that's where we're heading, and it's
Shit.
scary. I think we're definitely a way off from the humanoid robots resembling us.
Okay.
Definitely, but they are going to come out. They're going to come out as robots. There's about a dozen companies that are going to be mass producing humanoid robots to help to work in factories, but then to work ultimately in our houses.
Right now, it's just like an arm coming
Yeah.
down. Yeah.
But no, we've moved on from that now. We're a bit. I mean, I'm up to speed with it all.
Really?
Yeah, they're pretty good now. The
Well,
robotics.
every year, you always see something on the news where in Japan, it's like the new robot.
Yeah.
And they start looking more and more realistic.
Yeah, it's the
They always
movements.
do this.
Yeah, I mean that was a few years ago now. Those
Oh,
movements
okay.
are gone. Now it's like a human. The hardest thing is to try and get the hands to be as good as ours.
Well, that's with acting as well.
Mm.
Is it?
No, because they're real robots. So it's for us to impersonate them very easy, and I've had a lot of fun with that. But now I'm getting scared because one of the last things that they'll nail is I can't think of the word now, but
Us.
Hmm?
They'll nail us.
Yes, yeah.
So this tour is a little bit about humanity.
It's the fight for humanity through
Wow.
comedy. Yeah.
Come see this tour. It could be your last.
Mm-hmm. I think live comedy will be the last art form left.
I think so.
Because music will go before us.
Music, yeah.
Yeah.
Copyrights, all that.
I just think, through the technical side of music, through the sound, they'll emulate and do it themselves, and then the robots will play it and stuff like that. But comedy, the nuances, the way we tangent, the way our brain works as a comedian, I think that'll be the hardest thing.
That's
to
the hardest.
To copy.
That'll be the last frontier.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you say you're going to tour, so say it's about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Do you physically train as well? Because, it is a lot of physical stuff and everything.
Yeah, I work out. I do a fitness regime.
But some people go, okay, I'm on an hour and 15. I'm just going to go straight like I'm doing the show.
Right.
And they'll say their show as they're on the treadmill.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. No, that sounds exhausting.
No, I was just curious because everybody's got their own.
Yeah, I mean, I just I do Peloton. I do exercise bike. I will jog, or I will. I've got a treadmill as well. Yeah, it's just basically keep my heartbeat up and running and going.
Yeah,
and get used to moving a lot because the show is physical.
Yes.
Yeah,
you
so
can get worn out, and if you're in a high altitude too.
Yeah, I've stopped doing those mountain gigs now. It's just not worth it.
The ski lodge gigs.
The ski lodge tour. Yeah.
So if you get exhausted, what is your fallback? Do you just sort of like?
Oh, I just do a gentle walk over to my beverage, and hopefully I'll get exhausted straight after a big piece that has them all laughing, and that'll give me a good minute and a half to calm down.
Now there is a theory. I don't know if it's true or not, but if you really need to take a dump right before you go on stage, they say some people say if you hold it in, that's energy that will come out in your performance. Some people say just go.
Yeah, no, I'm a full release. You've got to release. Yeah, empty yourself out. I can understand that theory, but I think with the amount of movement I do during the show, you're risking something happening there.
I had to puke. I had food poisoning. I had to puke once before I went on stage.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
I've
puked while on stage. I think I was sick one show I did. It was another one of my one-man play type things, and I was moving about. And I think I was nominated for an award
for puking.
No, but I had the judges.
Brilliant.
In there. Yeah, I had the judges in there watching the show, and I think I had a bucket with me on stage, so as I knew
you knew it was going to happen.
Something was going to go down,
Shit,
and so I just as a comedy, throw up, hide the bucket, back into it. Yeah. I think it was behind a piano or something, so people just heard.
So you got an award for that particular performance?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And what did the audience do when you were puking? Did you hide yourself?
I think so. Yeah,
okay,
it's going back a bit now. I think they just enjoyed it.
Wow. And are there any sort of cities that you go, I can't wait to play this city? Like, do you have a favorite or one that you don't like?
None that I don't like. No, I mean, I'm not like that. I think it's all relative. Every show is different. The theaters, if it's a good theater with good sound, I'm happy to be anywhere.
Right.
I just enter my own world once I'm up on stage.
But
So,
when you're taping a special or something, they
yeah,
always say, well, you can pick the city you want to go to because that's the friendliest or
right.
you feel
Yeah.
is the best. Is there any in the UK that you go,
That's the place to be.
Swindon?
I quite like Bristol.
Oh, nice.
I've always had a good time there. I'd have to say Edinburgh as well. I'm doing the Edinburgh Fringe this year.
Yes.
First time in a long time. So, and
When was the last time you were
that
up
would have
there?
been 2012, maybe. Yeah, quite a.
I did 2011.
Really?
So we just missed each other.
Yeah, and that was
Wow.
your last time.
Yeah.
You'd had enough. Yeah.
Well, not so much enough, but it's hard.
It is hard, and it's gone through some phases, that festival, like everything. But I was there last year. I did a podcast there, and had a blast.
And so this particular, so you've got a break before Edinburgh.
Yes, that's right. I'm finishing this tour the end of, what are we in now? June? Yes. And then, so July, I've got off.
Now, do you know a lot about your family history, like your last name?
Not really.
Darby? Because this is what I did when I was on tour.
Okay.
I looked up in the phone book. I mentioned this in a previous podcast with Dan Clark.
Oh, yes.
Do you know Dan Clark?
I think so.
I'm name dropping. But I would look up Fulcher in the phone book just to see in each town. So you ought to do that with Darby, just to see.
In every town? Just to, what do you look it up? The phone book?
Yeah, just to see how many Darbys there
But
are.
they don't have phone books anymore.
They don't do that. Oh, this is a long time ago.
Yeah.
And then we'd count our receipt with an abacus.
Oh, really?
But yeah, maybe not a phone book anymore. What can you do? Can't do that.
Well, you can certainly go down to the old historical building, and they've got a roster of all the people that ever lived there in history.
But aren't you curious?
No, I haven't got time for curiosity. I've got to just keep rocking.
You've never done that 23andMe and
I
all
have
that?
actually.
You have?
Yep.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And you won't say.
Well, I can.
That's okay. No, it's okay.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, if anyone out there is intrigued, come and ask me in person.
Right, to rhysdarby.com, genealogy.
Yes, / genealogy department. And it's all is revealed there.
Now, what about a writer? Do you have a writer where you like?
Yeah, it's
green
kind of
M&Ms, that type of thing.
For me. Really, just nuts, raisins. Sort of healthy snacks. It's
very healthy.
Yeah, water, plenty of water.
Water.
Yep.
Sparkly.
No. Just your tap will do.
Okay.
And unless we're in a zone where I prefer to have purchased water.
But don't you get a little bit over time? Don't you get a little more crazy, like
bottle of vodka?
Make the M&Ms square. I don't know.
No, I don't. I can't be bothered having M&Ms before the show.
No.
No, it's too much.
Okay. What about a meal before the show?
Yes, I generally have something light around 5:30.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, it's all based on the fact that I'm going to be jiggling about a bit.
Right. Yeah, I don't like to eat a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
You
burn
might
a lot
throw
of calories.
up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I find that the touring when you're during the day.
Mm-hmm.
Are you one of those guys that likes to tour the city and do lots of stuff?
If I can fit it in, I'll definitely walk around and get a feel for each town if I'm there, because something will pop up and I'd like to bring it up in the show. Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah, local references.
Yeah. People like that.
because I would always sleep in, and there would be, other people on the tour that would go, "We're getting up at 7.
Oh, wow.
We're climbing Arthur's seat." It's like,
No, I'm
come on, man.
not doing that. I mean, I've got to be careful with my energy.
Yeah.
The amount of,
You don't want to get all, spent.
You've got to be ready to go for that 8 p.m., kickoff. So generally during the day, just having a relaxing time, but also enjoy yourself. You are in foreign towns and places that you're not living in. So
you got to watch yourself.
Soak it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about England? Is it good being back? Because you used to live here.
Yes.
You went from New Zealand to England.
Yep. I think first stop was Scotland. I did Edinburgh. I would have come through, Heathrow would have come through England, and if we're being technical. But I think my first sort of living session over here would have been in Edinburgh, because I did the festival and then stayed on.
That's what I did
in those days. Yeah, because I just fell in love with Edinburgh. I mean, what a town.
Oh, it's so good.
So I thought, wow, this is the other side of the world. Everyone comes here for the arts, of course, just for that month, but then they all bugger off. But I decided to stick around, and then I really so I did a little bit of the comedy scene up there, and then I made my way down to London, got an agent, and then we ended up living here for about 8 years.
So you just said, "I'm just going to stay here"?
Yes.
I'm in the country.
Yeah. Oh, no, I think I went back and forth a bit, but I definitely made up our mind, Rosie and I say our mind, it's mainly hers.
Our melded mind.
Yeah, that we want to be here. And so Rosie
so you were already married?
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
I think, well, look, we're going back a bit now. I don't think I was. No.
Oh, okay.
I think that, we did get married, but we were just young lovers back then.
You just followed the trail wherever it went.
Yeah, I follow my nose.
I find some similarities with us in some regards, because I did that. I stayed.
Yep.
You hooked up with a duo, basically. I kind of hooked up with a comedic duo.
True, yeah.
I'm a human.
Yes.
I think you're human.
I'm possibly.
Wait, I wrote some down. We both worked with Jim Carrey.
Really? Well,
I did on a surface level on that show, Kidding.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I love that show. Oh, great.
Yeah, I was a part of a horse.
Really?
I was the front end of a horse.
Amazing.
Yeah. But, all these similarities.
Wow.
Yeah. Improv background.
Yes, same. Yep, can do all that kind of stuff.
Military. You were in the military. My dad was in the Air Force.
Oh, well, there you go.
So we moved around quite a bit. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a lot of similarities. And look, it's interesting that you stayed here, and I would have loved to have, but the Concords thing obviously, took me to America. So I was in New York. And then I did come back after that, because I did one season, and then we're like, okay, so what do we do now? We might as well come back here and get back into stand-up.
You didn't know it was.
I didn't know what was going next. It was almost like you're just rolling the dice with this career. As a comedian, that's the fun thing about it. If you want security and to know where you're going to be every day and what your life's going to be,
it's not for you.
Comedy is not for you. Yeah. For me, I like the seat of your pants adventure aspects to this, where you're doing well 1 minute, and then the next minute you're sort of sitting at home,
They're throwing eggs at you.
Yeah, throwing up in a bucket. So came back and then went back again for a second season, and then we kind of America started to.
So you never got the LA thing until you. Got a gig.
Well,
first.
Jim Carrey brought me to LA because.
Come on over.
Well, it was Yes Man. That was the movie.
Yeah.
It was actually Peyton Reed who directed it.
Written by Danny Wallace.
There you go. Yeah,
I've had on that.
He wrote the book, and of course I caught up with him over there because his book was being turned into a script.
Oh, you talked to Danny?
Yep. He hung out a couple of times on the movie.
Was he dismissive?
I'm
just kidding.
A little bit. No, he's lovely. Then that's how I ended up in LA, and then I ended up actually after that going back to New Zealand. So I just back and forth all over the place, wherever the wind may blow.
Yes, that's the way I felt.
Yeah.
So I went to LA after a lot of the Boosh stuff, and then went back, and then I came back here. I was back and forth.
Right.
And then we permanently moved back at like 2013.
To here.
To LA.
Oh, to LA.
And then COVID, we moved back.
And I think we caught up then too.
Yeah,
didn't
we caught up
in LA. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and so how long were you there from 2013
till like
COVID?
2020. Yeah.
And then for COVID, so you were there for COVID.
Well, we found out like there was going to be another year of Zoom school.
Right. Yeah.
And we just couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah.
And we had always talked about coming back here for school and stuff. So we decided now is the time. We'll just see what happens.
Yeah. So returned.
And here I am.
Wow. That's interesting. And I think me living in America, I've lived there for longer than I've lived any other place. So it's over a decade.
Isn't
now.
that wild?
Yeah. It is.
America.
Yeah. And it's in a weird place right now, so it's also fun not to be there.
What about the fires?
That was horrific. That was we were there. We flew in as the fires were going from New Zealand, because we had our Christmas break in New Zealand, as we always do, and then we flew into the fire zone, and it was scary. And we had friends that had to evacuate their house, and they came and stayed with us. And we kept,
really,
yeah. And we're in the valley, so we're in the pretty safe. But we kept monitoring the watching the app and discussing what things we would put in the car to let. It felt like the entirety of LA was just going to be on fire. Yeah,
we were over there just before the fires hit. We did not have anything to do with it,
right?
But we came back, and then all of a sudden, the area where we visited, which was like Eagle Rock, they had to evacuate. It was just crazy, surreal,
wow.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
And I knew some people that lost their.
Yeah, some of my agents lost their homes.
Oh well, they're agents. So. No, that's terrible.
Yeah, it was a sad situation, but we all came together and helped out. There was a lot of volunteering going on. There was there was some benefit concerts and all sorts of stuff, all the cool things humans do to come together to, give each other relief after a terrible occurrence.
I'm hoping this will be a rallying cry for LA. It's like, we're LA, right?
Yes.
We're a city. We're an industry that has entertainment. Let's get work back here.
Yeah. I would love that to happen. I think, it's there's stuff happening there. There's some decisions being made now to make sure that
cigars.
Yep. TV and film need to be made there, because a lot of stuff was being made outside of there.
Well, even in the US, like tax break, like Atlanta,
it's the tax break thing. They need to fix that up. But AI is getting in the way as well. I mean, I do a lot of voice work, and I think that industry is in threat with robotic voices now being better than humans.
It's terrible. I know.
So it's a weird time, but I love it. I love that place.
I do too.
It's just something about it that is so weirdly wonderful. Yeah.
If I could work it out, it's mainly the kids in school.
Yes.
But if I could work out going back and forth, whatever that is.
Yeah. Mine are in a good school there too. There's a good school system situation.
Well, I didn't say mine were in a good school.
Right.
Mine are in a crappy. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Just had a drink of my drink.
Was it good?
Yeah, not too bad.
You want to plug it? No,
it's not that good.
I'm sure people know a lot of you from other podcasts and stuff. I don't want to cover too much that's already been covered. But this is something I didn't know about you when I started reading. You're a cryptozoologist.
Yeah, I mean, in my spare time.
So how did this get started? Because
well, when I was very young.
I was into that stuff too.
Yeah, monsters and cryptids.
Bigfoot and
all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think it's fun. And I think in life, we need to celebrate the weird, and it's all very well like treating it as if it's a childlike fantasy. It's not real, but the truth is there's been so many bizarre eyewitness accounts of creatures that, you know, shouldn't be on this planet, whether it be your Sasquatch or, you know, your lake monsters, your El Chupacabra, which is the goat sucker.
What?
Yeah, that comes from first sighted in Puerto Rico and then ended
The
up.
goat sucker?
Yeah, it sucks blood out of animals, mainly chickens, to be fair, but Chupacabra.
So do they think it's a
An alien.
hybrid an alien?
Oh yeah, it's something from another world that was left here, perhaps a pet that came down as part of the.
Oh, so they're not that smart.
No,
No,
but
no,
quite
they're
vicious.
Just... Oh shit!
And they can fly and land and then, but then they've since mated with local animals like I think
we don't even know about this.
coyotes. What's that?
So they've been mating
Yeah.
without us having
turning
known
into
it.
hybrid creatures.
Shit.
Yeah, they don't have any fur. They've got like an elephant hide.
So do you think this is like the first of the, or are there many animals that might have
I
come
think
down?
There could be a few.
Like what the hell is a duck-billed platypus?
Yes, see, that's
Somebody
weird.
must have fucked
That's
an
weird.
otter or something.
You know, I was in Australia recently, and I always forget to sort of go and have a look at that situation.
Yeah.
The spiny echidna as well. That and the platypus are the only two egg-laying mammals.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, Australia's full of really weird creatures.
Super weird creatures.
So I don't know. I think what I love is the fascination of them, and also I'm into the paranormal. I'm not so much into ghosts, even though I have had the odd ghosty experience.
You've seen ghosts.
I've felt a ghost in Edinburgh.
Okay, because they're all trapped down there.
Yeah, in those caves. You know,
bubonic.
Yeah, so I did a show inside one of the caves, and during the performance, this energy came right up inside me, right up my back, up my spine. It felt cold, and it just traveled up through me, and then shot out of my head. And then I watched it go, and it landed on one of the stage lights.
Oh, it would have been cool if it entered a person.
Oh yeah, well no, I think
you,
all it.
You could see them in the audience.
But that's a little too Hollywood. So my real story is that it went to the light. So they go, it's their energy, and they go to where the light is.
So a lot of people say that they would to stop people from getting the plague, they would block off total areas.
Yeah, they buried all the bodies in there, I think.
Shit. But even some
Years
people that
ago,
were really sick, they just blocked them in.
Right. Yeah, I think so.
And so that's where the ghosts. So they've been freed, and now they can roam.
Yeah, I think
wherever.
so. Some of them. Yeah, some of them might have passed through, but others are just still trapped down there, and they don't know what to do. They're just little energies, and they end up being attracted to you because you're a warm, organic body.
Swear.
And that didn't hurt me or anything. It didn't leave a mystical spirit inside of me or anything.
You didn't change or anything.
Yeah,
It's
I haven't become someone else's past life. Not that I know of. But who knows? All of that kind of stuff is interesting.
The first year I went to Edinburgh, I was just walking along. This old lady offered me a whiskey.
Oh.
And I go, oh, no, thanks. And then she drank from it. She turns to me and she goes, Edinburgh, it's the most haunted city. Wow. And it just was it was like one of the first encounters I had. It was a terrible accent.
No, but it was good though.
But it was like, it just really hit me to the core. Like, why did she say that to me just now? And
PR exercise maybe, but also could tell that you
come see my one-woman show.
You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
it
is
a great place.
It is, and this year I'm taking my sons. So one's 19 and one's 15. So
they can appreciate.
Yeah, they can appreciate what I fell in love with, that city and its kind of spookiness, and
So they've never been to the festival.
They have been. They've been before, but when they're very little. So they
now
won't
you can let them
remember it.
loose.
Now they can actually let loose and walk around the town themselves.
Hey, Dad, I got drunk with Al Murray.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No!
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Isn't it great, though? Because I think I showed my kids when they were younger, like 4 or 5, but they didn't really understand a lot of the, like, you've got to watch this.
Yeah.
Monty Python, it's
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, if you get them at the wrong age, they,
Yeah.
you know. And I'm guilty of that a little bit as well, but I've always had fairly good timing, and so I've waited mostly, at least for the first son, to show him that kind of stuff when he was old enough to kind of appreciate it. I mean, he got to see Monty Python live with me when they did the O2.
Oh,
I
man.
think he would have been 9. So that I said that you'll always have that, you know, because you're very young. But when you're older, you'll be able to say, "Oh yeah, I saw them live," and people won't believe you.
My oldest is 13. I showed him just the other day. I just showed him The Life of Brian.
Oh wow!
And luckily, he loved it.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
I took my 15-year-old to the I think it was the 50th anniversary of the Holy Grail, and we saw it at in the cinema. And he loved it.
Good.
So yeah, you got to
time it.
You got to time it
or
well.
else they'll hate you.
Yeah. That's
Why
right.
are you showing me this?
Stop showing me this.
It's just talking.
It's not YouTube.
Yeah. It's not Fortnite.
Exactly.
And what do they like comedic wise? Do they like certain comics? Or are they just whatever you tell them to like?
I think so. They love, like the 15-year-old, he watched Flight of the Conchords for the first time this year and he loved it. So my next thing is to get him into Mighty Boosh for sure.
No.
Yeah, absolutely. Because he was like, what next, you know? And I had to go away. And so something similar, you know, something whimsical and funny and silly. He did watch my other show, Short Poppies. So I was away, and that's one that I put out, and that's the same kind of vibe. And so he likes that, which is good. But he's brought up pretty much American, so he's watching a lot of the American stuff. So I've got to sort of, you know, remind him about the kind of the British sense of humor as well.
So
quite different.
Would you feel when you grew up in New Zealand, was your influence mainly British?
Yes.
Because I've noticed with Australia, a lot of times it's half and half.
Yeah.
But with New Zealand, it seems like it's more British.
A little more, I think. We did have, the best US sitcoms as well. So we obviously had MASH, we had Cheers, we had Taxi.
Did you have Gilligan's Island?
We didn't. No.
See, I know that was the one hole in the...
Yeah.
But
we knew of it, though, because it was so huge.
Yeah.
I don't remember. It wasn't playing when I was a kid. So mainly we would watch all the British ones, Dad's Army, Fawlty Towers, Heidi High, Some Mothers Do Have 'Em, Only Fools and Horses. I mean,
Goodies.
The Goodies was a big one. That was a big influence on me.
Oh, what about Benny Hill?
We had Benny Hill. Yeah, watched that. Oh, and the what's the other one? I can't remember his name now. So many of them. What's the other one? That
me.
one. The Worst Possible Taste.
Oh, Rip Taylor?
No.
The Worst Possible Taste.
Yeah, he was actually. I should know this because
Green Acres.
Yes, that was American.
Beverly Hillbillies.
Yes,
the Bob Newhart
we
show.
did have Beverly Hillbillies. The black and white one.
Show.
Yeah. We didn't have the Bob Newhart show. We had
All in the Family.
No.
But you had MASH though.
MASH was the best.
When it came out.
Yeah, and that was on every night in New Zealand.
Oh, MASH.
It was.
But it's weird how you're influenced by one, whether a show even gets there, right?
Yeah.
And two, when it's aired and stuff. Because a lot of people I know, comics here, they don't rate Seinfeld because they didn't really watch it.
Yeah.
It wasn't really a thing.
Yeah. If it's not a thing, I mean, Friends was literally the biggest show on the planet. So everyone can relate to that. Seinfeld would be close. It would be like...
Frasier they love here.
Frasier they love.
Because that's on in the morning every morning.
Oh, really?
It was, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your humor though mostly developed out of British comedy.
Yeah,
Because
I think so.
I was kind of that way too. I mean, I kind of could relate to that more.
Mm.
Is that how you felt, or was it?
Yeah, I just think it was more absurdist.
Yeah.
Spike Milligan was big in New Zealand, so we had his books, and we had one of his radio plays called Bad Jelly the Witch that used to play on repeat in New Zealand. So then you find the Goons show, and then the
Peter
natural,
Sellers.
Peter Sellers, all those guys. So it was. I think what the Americans weren't doing so much was they weren't doing the absurdist stuff, and that's what connected for me.
Although I connected to them, but I saw them in the U.S. on PBS. That's where they would air.
Yes.
They would do To the Manor Born, Monty Python, and Benny Hill.
Right, yeah.
So that was my, connection to that.
Kenny Everett was the one I was trying to say before.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Kenny Everett.
Yeah.
So,
We had that. He was big in New Zealand too.
But if you notice, this is getting in the weeds. Sorry.
I love being in the weeds.
If you watch the early Saturday Night Lives,
Yes.
there's a lot of Monty Python influence.
Oh, really?
For one, a lot of them hosted.
Yes.
And then they just had these, how the weird sketches now are always at the end of the show?
Yeah.
Most of the show was the weird kind of sketches.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I think I really would love the earlier SNL, as opposed to the newer ones. I mean, I watch it occasionally, but it's so hit and miss that I get how big an institution it is, but I think it goes through waves of depending on who's in it.
Oh, totally.
Of just pure genius, and then a lot of just like, I just did not
You
need
have
to
to
watch that.
sift through it.
Yeah, it's a lot of sifting.
But you would not believe, because I was growing up in it, how like certain shows are water cooler shows you talk about afterwards, right?
Right, yeah.
It was one of the first water cooler shows for kids, for teenage. Not Sunday, but Monday morning, everybody would be talking about what the Saturday Night Live was.
Right.
Because it was like everything was just totally cool.
Yeah. They made comedy cool.
Because 5 years before that was like, have you ever heard of the show Rowan Martin's Laugh-In?
No.
It's bordering on vaudeville.
Oh,
Goldie
wow.
Hawn was in it.
Oh,
They would just
really?
literally go out, stick their head out a window and tell a joke.
Oh, wow.
And then there'd be canned laughter. But it was like, you could see that it was on the cusp of changing.
Yeah.
And then the Smothers Brothers apparently was a very big influence on. But the absurdity, I think, was all on this end of the pond.
Well, if anyone who needs to sort of, who doesn't really have an appreciation for SNL and is young, I recommend that the movie that came out recently called Saturday Night.
Saturday Night,
is unbelievably good.
I loved it.
Yeah, and the actors play all the iconic sketch comedians.
The Chevy Chase was great.
Yeah, the Chevy Chase, the guy. And they're there, and really you watch that and you see how the show is made and how crazy they put it together and how they pulled it off. And you actually fall in love with the idea of SNL just from that movie. And
yes,
that's
it's
worth
so
seeing.
nostalgic.
Yeah.
And one thing about SNL, I was there was a period where you could watch SNL and right after was Second City.
Oh, really?
Because they would air it on NBC from Canada.
Yeah.
And that was mind-blowing.
Yeah. See, I never got to see that.
Did you see Canadian shows?
No, not really. I think we had some of their kind of dramas, but we didn't get any of their comedy.
Oh, what's that high school one? Kenny's not here today. So, Annie? No.
Sorry?
Degrassi High.
Oh, no.
Did you?
No, we didn't. Get that.
Okay.
We got The Greatest American Hero. I think that might have been filmed in Canada.
Believe it or not. Yeah.
Yeah, because I talked to people in America about that one.
Robert Culp was in that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a good show. That was influential on my
Kick-ass.
life.
Yeah.
It's funny that the shows that stick with you and
But-
into your DNA somehow.
But with American TV, like you mentioned all the cool British shows, which are like hilarious.
Mhm.
And then it's all cheesy American stuff, like the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
But I would be addicted to those kind of shows too.
Really? Yeah. Well,
The
for me, the American stuff that really hit me hard were the fast-paced action dramas like the A-Team and Knight
Yeah.
Rider, Chips,
MacGyver.
massively MacGyver, and
Fucking MacGyver.
that was the best. Yeah, one dude
Give me a toothpick, a
Yeah.
razor blade,
do anything with
and
anything.
a piece of juicy
Yeah.
fruit.
Yeah, exactly. So, and Dukes of Hazzard, there was like a whole bunch.
Love Boat.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. the
Because
Love Boat.
all the
Yeah.
stars were on it.
Yeah. And that's where you kind of went, wow, Americans really know how to make TV. They just.
But they're
The
also
theme
really
songs.
cheesy.
I guess looking back, they're cheesy, but I would have been 12, 13, I just thought they were
Welcome to
fun.
Fantasy
Oh
Island.
my gosh, Fantasy Island.
Fantasy Island. Tattoo.
Yeah.
Yes, boss.
But now they're still making really good stuff. When you find it, it's all on the
Yes.
streamers and things like that.
Yes,
They're really,
yeah.
It's just like there's just too much stuff out there, and too much stuff gets cancelled because there's just so many, I don't know, studios and streaming places that are fumbling the situation with their finances. I don't know what's going on. There's too much competition.
Well, you know what it is? You can only get so many subscribers.
Right.
And then, because there's nothing else they can do.
Yeah.
Can they sell Netflix t-shirts and stuff?
I'm sure they do, but yeah.
I bet they do. They should get merch.
Yeah.
But after a while, they're going to hit, because they were already going after passwords.
Yes.
Like
And a lot of people now are getting a free month subscription on one of them and then cancelling or something and then just doing it again with a different email or something, aren't they? There might be people are hacking their way into or illegally downloading stuff. I don't know.
I predict soon Netflix subscriptions will be 3,000 a month or something.
Yeah.
If you like our shows.
Please give us everything.
Here's another thing about TV, though, that I was when all the streamers happen, the prediction that people said in the future was all shows will be available all the time.
Right.
Instead, it's like, I can't get my
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
What is it on? It's
Yeah.
not on. Yeah.
I can't find what it's on, but you'll normally search the name and it'll show which thing it's on.
But then you'll have to pay.
Yeah, and then you realize, I dropped that subscription, or I used to be able to watch this on something. Now I can't find it on anything. I think I saw on X the other day that Eric Idle was complaining because you can't find the Ruttles anywhere.
I'd love the Ruttles.
What's the story with that? It's like, yeah,
Criterion or something.
yeah, it must be on something, but I don't know what the answer is.
But say you're at a party, right?
Mhm.
Da 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 da.
Yeah.
And somebody, because everybody always talks about shows, like what's the show you're watching?
Yes.
Are you watching this?
Mhm.
I always feel like the equivalent now of like not having read,
Yeah.
War and Peace.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
I haven't seen that show.
Yeah.
Or like, what do you recommend watching? And then I just sit there and I go, Friends is still pretty
Yeah.
good. Like, you don't know what to say.
Right. You've got to
mean,
have three in the back of your head that you've lined up, even if you haven't watched them. Just get those titles down, so when people go, "Hey, what's hot right now? What are you watching?" and you can just say the last.
Beverly Hillbillies?
No, too old. You
Oh,
see.
shit,
You've got
yeah.
to go The Last of Us.
Sopranos? Oh, The Last of
Yeah,
Us.
that's one. That's
Have
good.
you been watching that?
Yes,
That's
I've
good.
watched that. There's zeitgeist shows. I think like here when
Severance.
Severance was one for sure.
I'm still
that's-
watching it.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
But that's almost like an old, that's almost like an old reference now. I mean,
I think so. Yeah, I think things move so fast.
Shit.
Like, yeah, I think
Damn
you
it.
need to make sure episodes are still coming out. Otherwise, people will go, "Oh no, Because my 15-year-old said that to me the other day when I talked about Severance. He goes, "That's old. No one's watching that now." I said, "Well, there's only just this," and he knows it's going to be another 2 years before season 3.
Now, were you
They've
the
got a-
type of parent when he was younger than 15, he could watch a 15?
Well, he's never been a big watcher, so we haven't had to really worry about that kind of thing. He
A
doesn't
gamer.
Yeah, he's a gamer. So
Nice.
there's been issues of like you can't have that game because it's 18 plus.
Fortnite.
Yeah. Well, no, not that one.
Oh, yeah.
But that's kind of just a gateway drug to
Saw.
all of those type of games. But yeah, I know he's been pretty good. He hasn't. He's not a big film buff. So
Okay.
yeah. We have to really persuade him to come downstairs and watch something with us. But Last of Us he does watch.
But that gets
Severance,
me
he did enjoy.
frustrated. I want my son to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come, what are you leaving the room for?
Yeah.
Watch this.
Yeah. Well, you need to watch things together. And there's not enough shows out there that teenagers and their parents can watch together because they've got one idea and they don't want to be hanging out with their uncool parents.
You've got to watch Battleship Potemkin. It's look at this. They're going down the steps.
What is that?
What?
What did you say?
That's like one of the, like every time you go to film school, you have to see the Battleship Potemkin.
Oh, okay.
Because there's a baby carriage going down the steps.
Uh-huh.
It's been an homage in a lot of films. Like, remember in The
Ah.
Untouchables?
Yes.
When the baby
yes,
carriage is going,
yes.
that's from the Battleship Potemkin.
Oh, really?
Or anytime somebody gets shot in glasses, that's an homage to what, yeah.
Like if the bullet hits the glasses.
Yeah. So it's this big scene on this Odessa steps.
Okay.
And I guess it's an example of editing because it was the first time people like, quick edit of a shoe, edit, that type of thing.
Oh, wow. I've never even heard of it.
Yeah.
I thought you were trying to say Battlestar Galactica.
No. Which is amazing.
Which is good too.
Oh.
Yeah. And some of those old ones like that. That was another great American one that we used to watch at home.
Did you ever watch Space 1999?
I have seen a bit of it. Yeah.
I thought that was weird.
Yeah, that
Good,
one.
in a good way.
That's that American?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the Brits made some like that around the same era too. I think one called UFO might have come out at the same kind of time. Very similar.
See, I
type of
feel
thing.
like I missed out on a lot
Yeah.
of British shows that people
You would have missed
grew
out
up
on
with.
Thunderbirds.
Yes.
Yeah, with the puppets.
Yeah.
That was brilliant. Yeah. There's some they don't make stuff
Speed
like
Racer. Did you ever have Speed
that. Heard
Ra-
of it, but
Okay, yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we could just do a podcast about old TV, which I think that's what we've achieved today.
So, cryptozoology.
Yes. You skimmed
TV.
over that, didn't you? Went straight into your
we
big
did.
TV
We
stuff.
did.
Enough about your made up monsters. Let's get back into the 80s
No, but you
TV.
hit the big ones. But is there
Yeah.
any new ones out now that we would not know
that
about,
you should fear?
that we should worry about?
No.
First of all, Area 51. Do you
Yes.
believe that was?
Yeah, I believe it's there.
Okay.
I think there's definitely secrets there for sure. I believe in the extraterrestrial situation. I think they're here. The governments know what's going on. Not all of them, but there is a connection between us and beings that are not human.
Is there like a big network of countries that discuss this
I
periodically?
don't think so. I like, to hark back to my old military days. I was in the New Zealand Army and I had top secret vetting because I was a communications electronics operator.
Shit.
And there was no secrets that I dug up in that time.
You were looking through all that
I was looking through a few files in an office once.
alien
Yeah.
sightings.
Yeah. And we do see a lot of UFOs, UAPs, as they call them now, around New Zealand. But it's still a big question. Where do they come from and where are they going?
Shit.
There's all of those drones that were seen over New Jersey.
Yes. What was
Yeah.
that all about?
And they were really big. Well, we still don't really know. There's been many theories. One of them is that it was an organized kind of a psyop, psychological operation for the government to see how people would panic.
Yeah.
And also then there's theories of them coming off a ship out at sea or coming from underneath the oceans is another big one. So it's the mystery's still there. But isn't it fun that we don't know? I mean,
Because a lot of the alien sightings in like New Mexico and stuff, now they attribute a lot of that to weather balloons.
oh yes. Now do they?
Yeah, now they do.
That's just nonsense.
They
They're not
just
weather
figured it
balloons.
out.
Yeah, weather balloons are really obviously weather balloons. They're trying to, I don't know, they're caught up between making people panic and making people not panic. And I think as time goes on with technology that we have, including AI and things that's coming very fast, we're going to find out the truth very soon. And so they're trying to drip feed at the same time the disclosure that there are other things living here. And I think what we're going to find out is there possibly at least a percentage of it is that we've made them ourselves. We've made AI and it's gone into the future and it's come back in these crafts and things. We've made it here. So we're doing that right now. And this is stuff that's coming back from the future and coming back from other dimensions.
You know what? I thought this was going to be a relaxing podcast, but it's freaking me out.
But I don't think any of it's too negative because otherwise we'd all be wiped out already. And I think what it might be on a positive spin is that when we get out of hand with humans with nuclear war pending and things like that, which is where we're building up to these days, the AI is actually going to stop it.
But it seems like it's like tech is getting out of control. So we have to be 2 steps ahead to keep them under wraps to make sure that it's not getting out of hand.
Well, that's what my comedy show's all about.
Oh, it is?
Is stopping tech
June
from
11th
getting
on
out of control. so folks, June, any time this month, you'll see me pretty much
the UK.
Yeah, in the UK, every night of this month, I'll be in some town making people laugh.
Now, listen, there is a common thing I have in every podcast. It's a segment called Fill in the Blanks. Are you willing to try?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I'll read a sentence and there's a blank.
Okay.
And you have to fill it in. The one country I'd love to gig that I've never gigged before is blank.
Ooh.
It's a good one. All the countries.
Yeah, that is a good one. Let's go with China.
Wow.
How about that?
Any particular place in China?
Just in a beautiful theater in Beijing.
Would you?
Don't know. I mean, it'll be weird. It'll be interesting.
Do you think there would be a lot of expats, or would it all be Chinese?
I would hope a few, but knowing China, I'm not sure. I've never been there. I look to places where I haven't been for an excuse to go there and take my art.
Would you actually do it in Chinese, like Susie Izzard would,
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not as talented as
he's
as
crazy.
Susie Izzard. I think. Yeah, going through those lengths of learning another language for a good 2 years and then attempting it. No, I haven't got time for that. I'd have an interpreter, or I could do the gig
on
through
stage.
I'd have AI.
Your interpreter gets sick.
Yeah, at the same time. So I might actually find that'll be a fun thing. Get someone who's as physically capable as me on stage with my antics. I get a Chinese clown performer, and they would literally do the show at the same time as me.
That would be brilliant.
Right next to me on stage, mirroring
something for everyone.
Yes, exactly.
It'd be like having Just for Laughs and Juste pour Rire at the same time.
Yes.
Wow.
Just came up with that then, you see?
Did I? Wow. Did you? Yes.
We did.
Okay. Blank is my favorite show right now.
On TV?
Right now.
Right now. I think Righteous Gemstones.
I love them.
Yeah.
At first I was going to quit.
Oh, yes. A lot of people didn't last on that.
At first I was going to quit, but I stuck with it.
Well done.
Yeah, it's
a huge thing. It's like, I think it's finished now. It's done 4 seasons.
It's done?
Yeah. But it ends really well. I mean, it's a real journey, but it's just so funny.
It is.
It's a world
hilarious.
That needs conquering with humor. And if you haven't heard of it, it's about very wealthy people that run a mega church in America, and they've got rival mega churches, and it's about just what they do with all their money and how hideous these characters are, all in the name of the Lord.
It's amazing how, like, just how times have changed too. With like, you pitch a comedy show or any kind of show, if the lead is in any way not like having righteous qualities, they're not gonna accept it. They're gonna go, you can't have somebody that curses and watches porn or whatever. So it's like things have changed a lot.
It is. And I think that's the honesty of the human condition, and it's sort of celebrating that dark, idiotic characters are out there, and they should be laughed at rather than and also eventually pulled in and get their comeuppance.
That's always been a British thing too.
Yeah,
is never have a character you like.
Right. Yeah, they've got to be unlikable, like Basil Fawlty.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeti, of the three, Yeti, Bigfoot, Loch Ness, blank is the most likely to exist. The most likely.
Yes, Bigfoot, Sasquatch.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Yeti.
Well, I only say that because there's been some scientific research on the Yeti where they believe it's a hybrid bear, like it's between
alien
brown bear and a polar bear, like a hybrid. Now, I'm not convinced by that. I think there is, but it's
would have caught one by now.
But it's less likely, and so it's up on its hind legs, when it's growling and things. It's less likely for it to be a primate up there, up in those heights, those altitude heights. I mean, the mountains I've climbed, I've struggled with the ski resort tours and things.
Yes.
So I think apes, great apes, they don't like being too high up. So, but they do love being in forests, and they can migrate. I've gone to Rwanda, and I've found the mountain gorillas, the silverback mountain gorillas, and so I know that they hang out in groups, family groups, and they don't stick around too long. They move.
You think it's a gorilla and a bear?
Which one?
The Yeti?
No, I'm not sure what that one is.
Okay.
But there's been less evidence of that one. But if you go up there into the Himalayas and to Tibet, they definitely do believe there's something that's a spirit animal of some sort. But we yet to sort of really get more tangible evidence of it. It's way more mythical than Sasquatch.
Bigfoot.
Yeah, there's been a lot more reported.
Hard evidence.
Yeah, hard evidence for sure. You've seen the Patterson-Gimlin footage, the video footage from 1968.
That's the classic.
Yes.
But I just saw something where they did something with the shading or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't know if it proved it more or less.
Oh, really?
I didn't read it.
Well, they've been trying to prove it more for a long time.
Yeah.
It's not worth looking at the ones where they're trying to prove it less.
Yeah, okay.
That's just someone trying to make money.
Oh, good. Bigfoot. Okay, Bigfoot.
Nessie, though, I have been out there like 3 times looking for Nessie. Out on the loch. Nothing yet. No.
Why aren't the other locks got something? Like
a lot of them do. Well, I think that's the mystery, Of course, Loch Ness is the deepest.
What I find mysterious is deep water.
Yes.
You don't know what's going on.
You don't know what's down there. It's so deep. And I have been involved with my podcast, The Crypted Factor, in sort of authenticating.
You can plug it.
Yeah. So, The Crypted Factor, it's on all
we'll edit that out.
Podcasts. It's an irregular podcast that we do that we have a lot of fans of. We're also performing it in Edinburgh this year. We're doing 5 nights.
What is it? What's the show?
It's about cryptozoology and paranormal weirdness.
Oh, shit.
But we're the 3 of us host it. You know Dan Schreiber? Have you heard that name?
Yes.
So he's in it. And my friend Buttons Kirkbeck. And so
Buttons Kirkbeck? Yeah. Of course I've heard of him.
God, who hasn't?
Buttons, get over here.
Yeah,
he sounds like a 50s comic.
He is. He
You gotta get buttons. He'll tighten the act.
He'll
He
love
does
that
a
you said
tight
that.
23.
Yeah, I wish he'd stick it to 23, but he'll be there he'll be there for the full hour. But he's the tech. So, sort of Dan's kind of the nerd, and I'm the true adventurer. And Buttons creates all the devices and things.
You're like the guy in Perry Mason that would go out, the detective guy.
Yes, that's right. Perry Mason, you mean?
No, Perry Mason would think of everything and tell him what to do. You're the action guy.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've been out there, and so there was this person called Chi Kelly, and she took some amazing photos a few years back, and she gave them to us, and Buttons put them all together and turned them into a video.
Buttons, get the video together.
Yeah, and we made it into the tabloid newspapers with this footage because it looked really good. And this is of Nessie. This is of something in the lock.
But is this the problem now with AI as well? You can sort of...
Well, yeah, that is the problem with AI because there's a lot of AI coming up on these social media situations, and it's hard to tell what's real and what's not. It's really muddied the already very murky waters of cryptozoology.
Yes.
Yeah.
AI
but we can tell. It's got to be slightly blurry.
Right now we can tell.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, me, Buttons, and Dan can tell.
Buttons, Dan, get in here! We got another Nessie! I would definitely blank if it was legal.
Ah. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Last question.
If it was legal. I mean, I don't know. What's illegal?
Murder is legal.
Yeah, I was thinking
illegal. Hit and run, that's illegal.
There's a lot of Well, I don't know.
You could be specific.
I'm very ordered. I believe in order.
Okay,
and I think
laws.
we need it for society. So I try not to do anything illegal.
But what about laws change though?
Well, I mean, I think
like legalizing weed. You might have said,
yeah, I could, but
a few years ago.
Yeah, but I've done a few drug experiments over my time, and I'm not a big fan of any of it, really.
Don't show your sons. Yeah.
No. Well, they know. They know. Because in LA, it is legal.
Do I ever know it?
But, no, I don't know. I think I would probably commandeer a cruise ship. Yeah.
Like Captain Phillips?
Yeah, something like that. Wait a minute. Well, I never saw that film. What was that? It
was with Tom Hanks.
Yeah, wasn't there terrorists?
It was Somali pirates.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a different situation.
Okay,
I think I would just
Captain Steubing?
Yeah, I'd just steal a cruise ship and then take it on a different adventure.
You go, now it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Buckle up.
Have you ever been on a cruise?
I've been on a cruise ship, but not on a cruise. Yeah.
Right.
Not officially. I'm waiting for that. That's a look forward to thing.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe when I'm a bit older. Maybe.
Some people just love it.
Yeah.
I don't quite get it yet, which might be good.
Yeah, I think it seems odd. They're so big and you're sort of stuck in this, you're on a floating city.
Yeah.
But I do like the exploring of the city. Like I like going to shopping malls. I'm a keen shopping mall guy. Always have been. I like the nooks and crannies, like walking around, and there's always good air conditioning, and the music's quite good, and you can try different things to eat. And
have you ever seen these photos of abandoned shopping malls?
Oh yes,
they're pretty creepy.
Yeah.
Like something that's not that far ago. Is that weird?
I like that. I think maybe I will change my thing to I would steal an abandoned cruise ship. Perhaps the Queen Mary, which is the one that's parked up in Long Beach, in California. I'll try and get that going again.
I'm going to put this on a clip because it's going to be this is a newsmaker here. Yeah.
Well, if it ever goes missing, we know who's got it. Yeah.
Now, okay, so we mentioned cryptozoology. What about Dungeons and Dragons? Have you ever played that?
Well, my friend who's on this tour with me, Steve
You
Wrigley,
just keep going on about Steve.
he loves Dungeons and Dragons. He's a DM, a dungeon master. So yeah, I've played with him a bit, but traditionally I'm not a big D&D guy.
Do you know who I've heard? And I don't quote me on this, but I don't know if it's true or not, but somebody swore to it. Who is a big D&D fan?
Oh, really? Who?
Dame Judi Dench.
Really?
Is a huge
Amazing.
D&D.
Well, Steve would know that.
I don't know if that's true.
Wasn't she a big fan of... No, that was someone else.
That was Helen Mirren. No.
I mean, you just don't know what people are into.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and good on them for, I haven't told you a few things I'm into that I would not reveal.
Why not?
I'm not. No,
Get
save
them
it,
out.
Save it for next time.
Next time. Right. You've been talking quite a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, this happens to me every Edinburgh.
Okay.
I lose my voice once
Right.
every time, and I have to get it back quickly. What do you do?
I don't find there's much of there's old wives' tales, there's old tricks.
Port.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Didn't know that. There's like lozenges and things like that. I mean,
Steam.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Have you ever lost your voice?
I have, but I can't recall
Oh.
what the key was for. I think someone was helping me with it, so I didn't. Get help. I think would be a good one.
I find someone told me, like, you could try all of this stuff. The best thing you can do is just sleep.
There you go.
And sure enough, I would go to bed early that night because all the other nights you'd be up.
Yeah.
And I'd go to bed, and then it's like, ah! And I couldn't sing before that.
Oh, really?
No, but
So sleep is ultimately the key.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and definitely get off the alcohol. Yeah.
Yeah, the alcohol, that does it. Well, Rhys, good luck on the tour.
Thank you.
I hope our paths cross soon.
They will.
And
I'm
left
sure.
room. We've left room for a second podcast.
Yes,
later.
I've got a few more things to reveal.
Okay. All right, Rhys.
Yeah.
Go to it. And if anybody wants to know the dates of the tour,
RhysDarby.com.
No
slashes. Just get there and then
no slash.
you can figure it out once you're there. There'll be a menu.
Okay.
And then it's the 2025 tour.
Nice.
Yeah. Please come. Please fill these arenas. I should have gone for smaller theaters.
Thank you, Rhys. Look up the phone books.
I will. Yes. Get my Darby history.
Yeah. If they exist.
Or am I the only one from another realm?
Well, that was a thing, wasn't it? Oh my God. Rhys Darby. If you want to catch him on tour, go to his website, buy his merch, and check out his podcast. There's a lot to do. Okay, so thanks for watching TalkBox. Please subscribe. I think the subscription's down here. Not there, here.
Rich Fulcher's TalkBox.